So, do you feel like your partner is needy, clingy, and insecure with you? Do you feel suffocated sometimes by their constant need for attention and validation? Maybe you feel like no matter how much you give them, it's never enough. Then you are in the right place, my friend, because I'm coming at you today with the 5 things to do to turn your relationship in a positive direction. So now, if you want to know why your partner is insecure to begin with, then you got to check out my video explaining the #1 reason they're acting this way. And I'll link to that below this video so you can watch both. But this one stands on its own if you haven't watched that yet. If you like what you're learning, make sure you put a little like on this video and hit that subscribe button, because I put out great information like this every single week, and I wouldn't want you to miss it. So here are the top 5 things you need to know and do. #1, their insecurity is not about you. You can't make your partner feel secure or safe. That's all about them. The more you try, the crazier you'll get. You need to keep coming back to this like a mantra. And I really just, I can't say this enough. This needs to be your mantra, that this is them, not you. You can't make them do or feel anything because of what you're doing or saying. So just, you're gonna have to come back to that over and over. And I'll give you a little more as we go here. But #2 is to keep doing, and this really relates to that, what makes you happy. You've got to keep doing what makes you happy. If you like going out with your friends, if you like seeing music that they don't like, if you like to go for walks alone, if you like, if there's things that you like that make you happy, you have to keep doing them. Otherwise, this is emotional blackmail. Your partner is just blackmailing you, really, with their emotions. And a lot of times what happens in a couple is someone stops doing things they like because it upsets their partner so much. But then you end up resenting your partner, and you, by the way, end up less happy. How is it possible that you being less happy is a good idea in your relationship? It's not. And as that road starts, it's a bad road to be on, and you will be in a really bad place before you know it. So it's really important that you do the things you love continually, but make sure that you're loving and open about it with them. Don't be punishing and angry. Well, I'm just going to go do what I want. Be loving and open. And you might say things like, hey, I love you so much, and I'm going to be playing golf with my buddies today. If you want to plan something fun for us to do tomorrow, I would love that. Or, hey, I'm really excited about this girls' night out. I promise to be safe, and remember that just remember I love and adore you, and see you later. I hope you're going to have fun tonight. If you're looking for more ways to build more trust in your relationship, by the way, which all this is about, I'll link to my 3 keys to building trust in your relationship video below. So go check that out later too. I think you'll find that really helpful. Tip #3. You can't make them feel anything. That's their choice. If they're acting like a victim, and watch for these behaviors, if they're acting like a victim or they're blaming you, know that, this is a conversation that's going nowhere. You're not going to get anywhere if you're allowing that to happen. As long as you're being respectful and loving, and then that really means that this is their stuff. So make sure that you don't take on, the responsibility for how your partner feels. I'm happy that you care about how they feel. That's important. But you can't take the responsibility for it. That's an inside job, as we like to say, and that's for them. And, that really brings us to our next tip, which is to get out of, any resentment or judgment you have. You got to get into the care, compassion, and joy, really. I want you, I say it a lot, to be the dominant vibration in the room. I want you to be that dominant vibration of calm and love in your relationship. You can be the leader in your relationship. So but what you need to do that is to get out of your own fear-based reactions. So if you're acting defensive, frustrated, angry, resentful, if you're withholding, any of that stuff, this relationship's not going to go anywhere. I understand, they're in pain. I need you to think of your partner in pain. Every time that they attack you, every time that they blame you, that they act like a victim, this is them in pain. And you do not need to take on this pain. I want you to care about the fact that they're in pain, but I don't want you to try to fix it. You cannot fix them. So it's really important that you, again, kind of lean into the love of the relationship. Be that leader. You can't fix what's broken, but you can move towards what's going to work and what's great and what's wonderful in the relationship. And actually, if you really want to learn more about how to do that, how to kind of lean into the love, so to speak, I have a video on having faith in love, not fear, because we tend to have faith in fear and not in the love. And I'll link to that video also below this one, so you can kind of get your learn on a little more. And tip number 5 is there's no way for you to act that will cure or stop your partner from being needy and insecure, because it's about the work they need to do, not you. Your only job, and I'll repeat this, is to be respectful and honest and say what you need, and then take the actions towards that. What they really need to do, of course, is some sort of their own therapy, right? It's not, and here's the deal though, I don't want you to recommend it to them. I don't want you to say to them, you need therapy and until you get it, blah, blah, blah. They need to come to that on their own. And so if they ask you like, hey, I'm so over this and I don't know what else to do and whatever, what do you think I should do then? I'm sitting here all upset. And that's when you can say, you can get your own help. You can find the support you need to work through these issues, but I'm not going to own them. I'm not going to own this. This isn't okay. I have done nothing for you to feel this way. And they might then, of course, go, well, yes, you have. You liked that girl's post on Instagram and you, whatever, the things that they've created in their heads. Your job is to say, I'm not going down this road with you. I am not, they can be on the crazy train. You don't have to be the conductor. So you need to come off of that. The more you justify and explain, the more you go down that rabbit hole and the worse off you're going to be. So you want to pull yourself out of that and really understand that this is about them. This isn't what you're doing or not doing. You don't kiss me enough. You don't hug me enough. You don't this enough. Your partner needs to fill up themselves first. I say a lot, you can't have a great relationship with anyone else until you have a great relationship with yourself. And your partner does not have a great relationship with themselves yet. They are not filling their own cup and they're looking for you to fill it for them. And the problem is that it's really not a cup, it's a funnel. And so the more you pour in the top, the more comes out, the bottom. And that's why it feels like no matter what you do, it's never enough. So your only job here is to keep your side of the street clean. That is what you need to focus on. So every time they start to blame you or look at you or do something with you, your job is not to come back with something, but to instead just look at your own responsibility. Like, okay, check in. Am I okay? Am I doing the right things? Yeah, I am. There's nothing here that I need to defend or say I've done nothing wrong. I'm being true. I am being in love in, my loving sense and a true partner. And this is not something I can fix. And that's all you can do. What'll happen if you stop trying to fix it and help it and maneuver it and manipulate it and all that is when your partner will finally go get help. That's the only time when. If they can keep doing this dance with you, they're going to keep doing this dance with you. So one of you has to stop the tango, and it needs to be you. So, and I'm sorry, I wish I could say it needs to be them. So those are my top 5 tips. Now, if you want to learn more about how to create a relationship filled with, joy, connection, and ease, you can download my free communication toolkit for couples. I'll link to that below the video, or you can go check that out. Plus, really tons of other resources on my website, which is just my name, abbymedcalf.com. And that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope to see you in the next video.